that bird had best cock, best old cock, and that hen had best old hen.
Champion Birmingham Roller, reserve champion Birmingham Roller hen, and that's a cock.
Before judging, we're going to explain a little bit regarding the Jacobin. There are different parts of the structure and the body. The main parts are the body and the hood and shoulders and station. Now we are going to explain the different parts that we judge and important parts in the Jacobin. That one we call it a hood, okay, but a hood divided into several parts, main and chain, okay, and the upper hood, okay. So more big is the hood, more is better. Yes, more wide and thick is more better. Now we are going to compare between these two birds, okay. This bird have a really good thickness. It's lacking, okay. Unfortunately, this was the champion, okay. It's well stationed, okay, and the feather type is much better than that one. This is a smooth feather type. So from a side, we can see that difference, okay. And this one called the splash color, okay. Also a nice bird, but these two birds are more powerful than this bird in thickness and type of feather. And after that, the bird should station well stationed, show himself with a nice chest and body and shoulders. We'll show the shoulders here, should be shown here like this. And it's a kind of triangle. The bird should do 1, 2, 3, triangle, a complete triangle. That's it for the Jacobin. Okay. So for placing the birds, the best bird, number 1 is the yellow, number 2 is the red, number 3 is the white splash. Okay? Well, this bird, we call it the English trumpeter. Very known and very well known around the world. At first, when we pick up the best bird, we look at first to the body, okay? The good birds should have enough powerful body, a lower body with a good keel, good chest. So that's the main thing that we look at first. After that, we look to that part, the crest, and the English trumpeter shouldn't have any leak or gap in the crest, as some other breeds have it. So it's not allowed to have that mistake in this breed. And the third main thing is the boots. Okay, a lot of points go to the boots. We can see they have nice boots with 3 different layers, with the kind of waves to the back, not any gaps or legs like in the end of the boots. And one more important thing is that the wings should be on the tail, okay? Not a dropped wings, not parallel, should be on the tail. That's the major things. And the tuft also, we can see it. It's a little crest in front of the head on the beak. So that bird had best cock, best old cock, and that hen had best old hen.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to welcome each and every one of you here tonight. What an outstanding national championship show we had for the last 4 days. To our guest of honor, Directorate of Sport and Promotions, Mr. Tabu Tutu, Mr. Noor Nasiruddin, Project Manager, Sports and Recreation, the City of Cape Town, Executive Member of SANPO, Mr. Willie van der Berg, and the Rose amongst the thorns, Mrs. Sharon Celia, Western Province Sports Council Executive Member. Our judge of Kuwait is not present here tonight because he had to leave on a flight at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Mr. Ahmed Al-Dubaib, he was also our judge. My executive committee, members of the NFPA, ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the 6th annual National Championship Fancy Pigeon Show of the NFPA. Tonight our prize giving is not the night for speeches from me, but let me just say a few words. I want to focus on thanking those who've made it possible for us to enjoy ourselves here this week in the heart of the Cape Flats. Organizing events, as my hard-working committee will bear witness, is not an easy task. The biggest hurdle is always the financial one, and the right we have to express our dearest appreciation to the City of Cape Town and the Department of Sport represented by Mr. Noor Nasiruddin for the city, and Mr. Thabo Tutu of DCAS for their most generous contribution to this event. But let me quickly add that your sponsorship of our event has had a massive outreach. Our participants come from far and wide. Peter Marisburg, our white Zulu, Mr. Neil Raw, sitting on my right, being the furthest, and from all walks of life in South Africa. And they will carry home with them the warmth and hospitality of our city. Not only that, fancy pigeon fanciers, breeders from all around the world has been monitoring us closely via Facebook and Twitter. And many have commented as well. For an example, we could never have dreamt that shows of this standard is being held in Africa. I also need to thank the Western Province Sports Council for their support of the Western Province Fancy Pigeons of the NFPA. Of course, it would be remiss of me not to mention the names of all our various sponsors who so faithfully support us. Thanks to Panorama Pet Shop, Pet Centre in Gatesville, Oakdale Pet Shop, Classic Bakery in Thornton Road, Athlone. Thank you all very much. There's a saying that life without gratitude is not life itself. And so I'd also like to thank everybody who worked so hard towards the successful event. I'd like to mention Miranda Lekay, that worked directly under Noor Nasiruddin of the city, my show committee, especially Mr. Majid Raoud, for world-class setup and layout of the show. Thanks, Majid. Nico Venter, our show secretary, Yasim Khan, my secretary, Reggie Fester, our PRO, Donald Bland, our trophy master, Gartik Davids, he's now a senior, and most of our juniors, too numerous to mention. And finally, a big thank you to all of you here tonight, and to all of you who participated in this year's event. Do enjoy the evening. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much to Fadil. I was a bit worried there, 3 pages, but he got through it very quickly. Normally very long-winded, but thank you, Fadil. Next on the agenda, on the program rather, is our keynote speaker, and that is Thabo Tutu. I would like to call on Thabo. He's our Director of Sports Promotion. And I must just say, Fadil may have forgotten to just mention it again. We have never forgotten. The reason why we are so high up in the council in terms of all of the good things is because of the groundwork laid by Mr. Thabo Tutu himself. For that, we are eternally grateful, Thabo. May I call on you to please come and speak to us. Thank you.
Program Director, Faldin, Mr. Willy van der Berg, Sharon, Noor from the city, and all the invited guests. Let me greet you this evening. Let me start by saying I would like, Faldin, perhaps next year, when you have these fancy pigeon shows, that you invite the standing committee, our standing committee on sport, because whenever we go to Parliament, when we go and present our annual report, they don't really understand what the fancy pigeons are. They don't even, perhaps they don't even understand that this is a sport. They always think that whenever you talk about fancy pigeons, you talk about racing pigeons. So we are always at pains trying to explain to them what this kind of sport is. I think that can be noted for next year. Mr. Program Director, invited guests, and friends of sport, and friends of our planet, we are meeting here today with special people like the White Zulu that has been mentioned, and at a special occasion which will acknowledge tonight all the achievements and the dedication and the tenacity of the people that are seated around here. And that tenacity is transferred to the love of birds. You know, 2 weeks ago, I watched a program on TV on dinosaurs. And I was astounded to find that the ancestral base for evolution of dinosaurs is actually birds. Now I tend to believe that I was told that within the fancy pigeon sport, there's plus minus 1,300 species and different types of pigeons. But I could not resist wondering to find out whether these birds, are they evolving? Coming to our department, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Sport, we are proud to be associated with Fancy Pigeons as a federation, and we appreciate the efforts and the time spent to make people aware of the speciality and the care that you take to look after these birds. We take note of the healing aspects where birds were used to rehabilitate prisoners in the past. You know, I used to work in prison in the past, and I would see prisoners nurturing birds, and they would actually speak to them, you know, as a way of rehabilitating and healing them. Those who have watched that film, Papillon, can attest to that. Faldin, you said when you started with your speech, tonight is not a night for speeches. Tonight is a night for acknowledging those that have achieved. But to the Federation, I'd like to say, well done. Keep up the good work and the good governance that goes with it, under the watchful eye of Sharon. To the members